Yo, what's going on, everybody? Eyecee here, and welcome to another NBA video. This one is for December 1st, 4-game early slate. I'll be doing a late slate video too, so look out for that, but I decided to split them up. Hopefully you guys tuned into the video yesterday. We had a really good night here. A lot of the plays we talked about in the spreadsheet were spot on. Warren, Embiid, Devontae Graham, Robin Lopez, Ben McLemore, Harden, Westbrook, Austin Rivers. Westbrook not so much, and of course we had some flops: Miles Turner, Giannis. The game blew out. Ilyasova not so much, but I put the note in over here that I wasn't really all that high on Ursan towards the end of it. So overall a really good night. These were my lineups. We pulled in a nice profit overall. These were some of my best ones: Harden, River, Tucker, Giannis, Len, Graham, Warren, McLemore. I had a lot of Warren and McLemore. I don't know, just worked out really well for me. And Robin Lopez was pretty much in almost like 85% of my lineup, so I went super hard on him. So a very good night for us overall. Hopefully we can continue that into today. This is the spreadsheet for today. I've updated it for the early slate. All my notes from my favorite plays, my concerns, everything is in here. I will not be going over every single one, only talking about the players I really like. So if you guys want, it's a free spreadsheet, and if you want access to it, all I need is an email address I can share the link with. You can DM me on Twitter with that, or you can post in the comments below with an email address, and I'll send you the link. It's free. When you guys are on my Twitter, though, please like the pin tweet. There'll be a new one here shortly after the video is posted, so do that, please. And if you haven't, hit that like button, and if you're new here and you like what's going on, please subscribe, because I'm trying to do this full time. Everything I do here is free content, and the sooner I can grow, the sooner I could do this full time and give you guys some more. So with that said, let's get into today's slate. A little bit fast paced here because we're already short on time. 4 games here, and honestly a couple of good games to target DFS wise. The first game is probably one of them. Miami versus Brooklyn. Now Miami is a tougher defensive team against guards, so a lot of these Brooklyn guys might be in for a tough ride here, but the pace is good, and Brooklyn's been playing good form, so I expect this to be a semi-competitive game. With that said, the guy I'm looking at most on the Miami Heat is Bam Adebayo over here at 7,300. His price is down. He's a solid play on this slate, regardless of any situation or anything. Nets suck against bigs, and Bam is your atypical big. With him, they can run small ball. He's a decent shooter. He's shooting like 60% from the field right now. He's just been playing really on another level. He's top 10 in MVP candidates right now, believe it or not. He had somewhat of a down game against the Warriors, but that could be attributed to foul trouble and the blowout nature of the game. But as a whole on this season, he's been doing really, really well. Lots of 50, 45 plus games out of him, so he's more than viable here. Definitely one of my favorite plays. Justice Winslow coming back from injury. He's not in the starting lineup yet, playing off the bench, but the last 2 games he's played 34 and 26 minutes. Of course, last game again was a blowout type of nature, so he played less minutes there. He should be playing close to 30 plus minutes every single night. And at 5,300, he's more than capable of getting it done. He still carries a slight risk with them, as you can see in these 2 games against Denver, Atlanta. But at the time, this was a pace down matchup, and Brooklyn's a pretty pace up matchup, so that should suit Winslow just fine. He also carries somewhat of a foul risk at times, so that's somewhat of concern. But at 5,300 on a 4-game slate, with the amount of minutes he's going to be playing, you can't really go wrong in my opinion. And Jimmy Butler at 7,600, of course, someone I'll be looking at. It's just the problem with Jimmy Butler is he's a roller coaster. He has up games and he has down games. The floor is relatively low with them at times, but the ceiling can be high as well. So, I mean, I don't expect all 3 of these guys to do well, so pick your poison. But, I mean, 2 of these guys for sure I'd have no problem with. Jimmy Butler is definitely someone that can get you 50 plus DraftKings points, especially in this matchup against the Nets, which should be semi-competitive. Between the 3 guards here, Hero, Nunn, Dragic, I mean, I have my opinions here. I would say Hero probably has the highest upside. Dragic is the safest bet out of the 3 due to his veteran savviness. He goes out there, he gets his shots in, he does what he's needed even off the bench, and he's closing out games. Nunn is a little prone to foul trouble and a shot not falling at times, but he has a decent ceiling and a decent floor, and he's also priced in the middle. So I mean, I'm on the fence with all 3 here. I'm going to be playing all 3 of these in some capacity. I would be leaning towards Nunn and Dragic because I expect Hero's minutes to take somewhat of a hit now that Winslow is in the rotation. And playing a lot of minutes. The last 2 games for Hero, he saw a good amount of minutes, but they were blowout type of games, so there's that. I don't expect Hero to be playing this much minutes, but of course, if he is, he's more than viable of a play at 5,100. Things to consider here: Derrick Jones is questionable, and I don't really think he's going to be playing all that minutes in his first game back. But if he is, he's going to be eating into Duncan Robinson's minutes. Kelly Olynyk, someone I'm on the fence with. He's someone that could get it done at this price point in this matchup. But at the same time, he's a little flaky at times and a pretty big risk. On the net side, it's a little bit more straightforward for me. I'm not really targeting Dinwiddie or Garrett Temple all that much, but Dinwiddie, of course, is in consideration due to the amount of usage he's been seeing the past few games. He's been really, really hot. Eastern Conference Player of the Week. He's been playing lights out. Of course, the Heat are very good against guards. So far this season, they've really shut down 75 to 80% of the guards they've gone up against, but the amount of shot volume, usage, minutes Dinwiddie's seeing, how much of the ball he's handling, his assist rate, it's hard for me to ignore Dinwiddie, but at the same time, the matchup is something that I'm giving a lot of respect to, so I'm gonna have somewhat exposure to Dinwiddie, lower than the field, of course, but someone I'm definitely considering. Aside from that, Taurean Prince at 6K would probably be the safest bet here. He's had 2 down games. The ownership's going to be slightly lower on him too because people are going to think that's a risk. But it was against Boston, who's a really good team against forwards. And now up against Miami, they're a little bit lackadaisical against forwards at times, so he could have a decent showing there. But Winslow, Butler, all these guys are good defenders. They're going to make it tough on the Nets, but it is a pace-up spot, so these guys could still surprise everybody and get it done at lower ownership. Joe Harris is the other guy I'm giving light consideration to. Joe Harris's minutes are just really great, man. He's taking like double-digit shot attempts too. If he's going to be taking these many shots and he's always going to be getting these type of peripherals, then he's a viable play. Last 3 games, over 30 DraftKings points, all 3 games. That's pretty much what we're looking for here in a pace-up matchup. It is going to be tough somewhat, but he's more than capable of getting it done, so I don't mind Gary Harris. Another guy I am looking slightly is on the Nets is Jared Allen. I'm on the fence with Jared Allen here because with DeAndre Jordan in play, it kind of eats into his minutes regardless. DeAndre is going to be playing 15 to 20 minutes on a nightly basis, and that's directly going to impact Jared Allen. The thing is, Miami plays small ball, and DeAndre Jordan might not really be a viable play here due to that. He could just be paced out of the game. A lot of the pace-up matchups he's been a part of this year, he's seen some of his lower minutes, so that could be a thing, but at the same time, he's someone that's going to get his minutes regardless, in my opinion, so it would make Jared Allen a very risky play, but still a viable play regardless due to the pace-up spot. I'm just on the fence with Allen. Maybe I'll update here in a little bit what I really think, but on the moment, I could go with him or against him. I don't really have a strong opinion either way. It's just DeAndre Jordan being there really complicates it for me. Some of these other guys, you guys can read the notes for. On to the next game, Boston versus New York. Jaylen Brown's the one guy that really stands out to me due to his price. He had a really bad game the other night, but that was because it was a really early noon game for some reason. I don't even know why that game happened at noon, but it did, and I don't think he's a morning person whatsoever because he just had a horrible game. He's been playing really well the past few games. Of course, he's had another game like that in the past, but it was against the Clippers, a very tough opponent, and he had just a terrible shooting night, but this past game, he didn't even shoot the ball as much as he did. He just was out of it. He wasn't engaged. I expect him to bounce back and really be engaged in this one against the Knicks. The Knicks do play at a somewhat of a slower pace, as do the Boston Celtics. So as a whole, I'm not that interested in many guys here. But Jaylen Brown's price, usage, minutes are really good. And he's been a big part of what the Celtics have been doing this season. I expect that to bounce back here from his last performance. And he should see slightly lower ownership with people having recency bias. Tatum, Walker, Smart, all of these guys are viable plays. You guys can read my notes here. I'm going to have them in some capacity, but not a lot. I don't like the pace of this game, and I don't like how many mouths there are to feed here. So I'm playing them, but not as much as the field. Of course, Daniel Theis, keep an eye on him. He got his knee banged up. So far, there's nothing on him, but, news can pop up any second. He played 7 minutes last game. If he's going to be playing, he's going to play his regular 22 to 25 minutes, and he's a viable play at this price. But, again, I'm not all that interested in a lot of these Celtic guys. They're viable plays, but I just don't like the pace match. I don't like the pace down matchup here. On the Knicks, on the other hand, I do like some guys from the Knicks, even though it is a pace-down matchup. For starters, Marcus Morris is questionable with neck spasms. Now, this is a revenge game for Marcus. I don't think neck spasms are really going to be holding him out of this game. He should be rubbing his hands like Birdman right now, and he's been the guy to go to for the Knicks throughout the year. He's shooting at a very high rate, performing really, really well. He's the leader of this team. And at 5,900, I don't see how you could really go wrong here. He'll be super motivated, and he'll be getting the shots up. It's just Boston's a very tough matchup in general for most guys, and I don't think Boston's going to allow him to beat them. But at the same time, he's more than capable. So I'm kind of on the fence with him, but I do like him as a player from the Knicks. Randall is the other guy I like at 6,800. A very reasonable price on him, and he's someone that has had decent games against tougher opponents throughout the season so far. He's been up and down, and that's pretty much what he does always. But he's more than capable of exceeding value at this price. And in this matchup, I could definitely play some Julius Randle. Mitchell Robinson's the other guy I'm looking at only because of his minutes. I don't know what's happened to Bobby Portis' minutes the last few games, but Mitchell Robinson's been playing around 30 minutes. Mitchell Robinson's a beast, and in 30 minutes he could go out there and absolutely crush it. At 4,800, he could definitely go out there and crush it and get you some really crazy scores. He hasn't been doing it because the last two games have been against very tough opponents, the Raptors and the 76ers, and now Boston's another tough opponent. But if these is limited maybe and going up against Cantor, I like Robinson's chances. The only problem is his minutes could randomly get reduced and Bobby Portis could randomly start playing minutes again. So that's just concerning. The coach for the Knicks is random like that, and I don't know what else to say. It's risky just because of the coach. Otherwise, I'd be all over it. Damian Dotson, someone I'm on the fence for. I mean, all these other bums here are playing random minutes, but Dotson's the one that's been playing somewhat consistent minutes off the bench here. So, I mean, I don't mind getting to him somewhat at 3,200, almost minimum price. He could get it done, but he's a very risky play, like very risky. But I just thought I'd mention him. The next game here, Memphis versus Minnesota, and this is probably my favorite game to target out of this all the games here. This game is a super fast-paced matchup, and Memphis is missing their main man, Ja Morant. Now, Ja Morant's going to be missing. That will mean that Tyus Jones is automatic chalk. And Tyus Jones is like my favorite player on the slate because it's a revenge game for him too. So at almost minimum price, this guy is going to be playing like all the minutes he can handle here. And he's going to be in a smash spot. I expect 28 to 30 plus minutes here in this fast-paced matchup. I expect this game to be relatively close, competitive, and Tyus Jones is going to be the chalk of all chalks here, so not much more to say. He's in a decent matchup here, decent spot. I don't mind getting to him. Jay Crowder is another guy that should see a significant uptick in offensive usage. With Ja Morant gone, he's just going to be needed more on the offensive end. He's already playing a good amount of minutes. Great price on him, very reasonable, very easily could exceed this price point, especially in this matchup. Going to be one of my favorite plays. He comes with his risk at times, but I mean, in this circumstances, it's just too good to overlook. Triple J, the walking foul. This could be a smash spot for him if he manages to stay out of foul trouble. He's been good in a lot of these games, but he always has that risk, and he could play reduced minutes. If he does get into foul trouble, that would open up Brandon Clark, who's a very efficient player. When he's been getting minutes, he's been performing, and if he gets some more minutes due to his foul trouble, he could easily exceed value. And then J-Val, Jonas Valanciunas, he's been hot the last two games, and he's someone that rides streaks, or he plays in streaks. He's either going to be bad or he's going to be good. Right now, he's good, and at a under 7K price, I don't mind getting to him. He has real 50-60 DraftKings points upside, and I'll show you guys this. No, that's not it. Where is it? Sorry about that. Oh, sorry, it's over here. Okay, so Valanciunas has had some decent games against Towns in the past, and limited minutes. So he was playing 24, 19, 29, 26. You see, like, the minutes weren't there. Right now, he's playing closer to 30 minutes a game. And if he's going to be playing 30-plus minutes a game, there's more of a chance for him to exceed value. So I don't mind that whatsoever. He's definitely going to be needed against the Towns the Timberwolves, Karl Anthony Towns. So he's definitely someone I'll be looking at for sure. Where's my spreadsheet now? Where is it? Okay, it's right here. Another guy to be considering here slightly is DeAnthony Melton, and you guys can read my notes for like Dylan Brooks and these other guys. who will also be slightly in play. But DeAnthony Melton is someone that also could be seeing a slight minute increase here. I'm expecting him to play around 20 to 22 minutes due to just there being nobody else. He's another guy that can handle the ball and play make at times. His assist rate is like the third highest on the team, and with John Morant missing, they're going to need him a little bit more today. So definitely someone I'm expecting to see a little bit more minutes, and someone that could get it done as well. So that's from the Memphis side. On to the Minnesota side. I'll start with Karl Anthony Towns, 10-8. Definitely someone that could get it done. One of the better plays on the slate today. Great matchup, pace up. Not much to be said here. Like he's a monster. He's had monster games against Jonas Valanciunas in the past, 57, 55, 71, 50, and he's done that in slightly reduced minutes at times. He's playing a good amount of minutes right now, 30 to 33. If it's a close game, he could be playing extended minutes, so, there's that. But, I don't see any problem with Karl Anthony Towns. The only concern with Wiggins playing like he has been, it has taken away some of the usage from Towns. So, they're almost at similar usage now. At a point, like, Towns was doubling Wiggins' usage. Now they're at similar usage, so that's, of course, hindered Towns' production on a night-to-night basis, but he's more than capable, especially in this matchup. That leads me to Wiggins. Of course, he's a viable play. He has to be in consideration based on how he's been playing the past few games. Ever since he came back from his grandma passing away, he did have somewhat of a slow return, but last game against the San Antonio Spurs, he was right back where he left off. He's taken a lot more shots this season. He's been very efficient, playing really well. He's bought into Coach Ryan Saunders' philosophy. This is a super fast-paced matchup here, so it's really hard for me to ignore Wiggins. I'll be playing him. And then Jeff Teague, he's going back to playing around 30 to 33 minutes, so I don't mind Jeff Teague. I got those minutes. He's starting a great pace-up matchup against Tyus Jones, the guy who they basically let Tyus Jones leave. Tyus Jones played a lot of minutes for the Wolves last year. Teague was injured quite a lot, and he played a lot of minutes. So, that's why I'm really high on Tyus. He played really well. He's going to know these guys really well. He's not really going to be shy. He's going to go out there looking to crush. Jeff Teague, though, on the same hand, he's going to know Tyus well, and he's going to be in for a great matchup, too. So, I don't mind getting the Jeff Teague at this price. Some of these other guys you guys can read my notes for, but Jared Culver I'm going to touch on real quick. If these injuries persist, then Jared Culver should be a fantastic pick. He's been the most productive guy out of all of these four backup guys, Layman, Graham, Okogie. And with these guys missing, that could bump Bates Diop into the mix as well. He was someone that was part of the rotation more last year. To start the season so far this year, he's been not really there, but with the injuries the last 3 games, he's been part of the rotation, and it could be a sneaky play because people haven't really been paying attention to that. On to the last game here, and I'm not going to be super excited about this one because this is, there's stuff to be excited about, but it is a tough matchup for the Dallas side. Luka at 11-6 has to be in consideration. It's a 4-game slate. He's already had a 71 DraftKings point game against the Lakers, but the Lakers are going to be expecting that and going to be much more prepared for that this time around. I'm going to expect a lot more lots more attention to getting the ball out of Luka's hand this time around. They still don't have the personnel like the Clippers do to do that, but they're going to try. They got Rondo back this time. It would help if Avery Bradley was there, but they're still going to try with Rondo there and trying to, slow him down a little bit. It is a pace down matchup here, pace down spot. But Luka just has a huge upside. He's averaging almost a 30-point triple-double. He had another good night against Phoenix the other day. I know the price is up there and it's scary, but at the same time, this guy is real upside even at this price, and he's been playing like it, so he has to be in consideration. There's no doubt in my mind. It is risky, of course. I don't fault you guys for not playing him if you do that, but you have to consider him. He has to be in your thoughts. There are decent value plays on the slate, which makes it pretty easy to get to him. It's not impossible and hard to play Luka and play some of these other guys as well in that lineup. So Luka is going to be in play for me. He's probably going to be around 35% owned in my opinion, and I don't mind that. I'm more than okay with that. Kristaps Porzingis, he played a lot of minutes the last time around, 37, but I expect him to have a pretty hard time this time around too. Of course, the usage in minutes on this team is someone that makes him viable regardless. On a 4-game slate, you have to consider him, but I don't expect the matchup to be that easy for him. He could get it done. But again, he's just in consideration as an ownership play for me. Not really a value play for me, but ownership play just in case, AD gets injured or something. Porzingis randomly makes a couple of extra shots. He played horrible the other day, didn't make a single shot, so he has that risk, but he still gets a lot of peripherals. It's just the Lakers are a tough matchup in general for most bigs, and I don't see it getting any easier for Porzingis. Maxi Kleber's the other guy on the Mavericks I'll be considering. I like him more than Dwight Powell, man. Even though the minutes might not be there, he's just more viable in my opinion, and he's someone that was playing really well before Dwight Powell entered the mix. Dwight Powell really messed everything up for Maxi. But Dwight's minutes have been better, and he should be playing better in theory, but he got that big contract, and so far I think the pressure is just too much. He hasn't been living up to it, and I don't know when he will. I don't think this matchup is good for him, but at this price, the price is good and the minutes are decent, and if he plays well, you can see extended run. Usually he's not, though. That's why Maxi plays what he plays. That's pretty much it here. The only other guy I'll talk about here is Seth Curry. He comes off the bench. He's almost minimum price here, and he gets a decent amount of run every single game off the bench. If he gets a little hot with his shot, he could exceed value here. It is a risky play, but compared to all the Brunsons and the Delons and the JJ Bareas here, he's the guy that's getting consistent run off the bench, and the guy I'll be looking at. On to the Lakers side, LeBron, AD, both these guys are in play. The prices are decent. LeBron's price is down now. AD's been playing better than LeBron the last 3 games, but LeBron could very easily go back to being LeBron. He had a good game against the Mavericks the last time around. He had 92 DraftKings points. He just went off. It was him versus Luka basically. Everyone else kind of took a back seat. So I can see that very well happening again, and I slightly prefer LeBron to AD because of that. It's only a $200 price difference. But at the same time, this time it could be AD's turn. He has been in form and playing well again, and I think the shoulder is finally behind him. And I think this was the first time in recent history that AD wasn't questionable going into the slate. So, not that that matters. He always ends up playing. But I don't mind AD or LeBron. I slightly prefer LeBron. Between all these other guys, Dwight Howard is the one guy I'm looking at. He's going to be needed here today. Usually they've been not extending his minutes all that much. But he's definitely going to be needed here, and he could definitely exceed value at this price. Rondo, I'm on the fence with. If Rondo's going to be playing 20-plus minutes, I'll be all over it. But, this is what happens sometimes if the match gets out of hand. They're not going to waste Rondo. He is one of the older guys on this team at the end of the day. But Rondo's a very efficient guy at times. He could get it done. He's a stat sheet filler. He gets a whole lot of stats really, really quick. In 11 minutes the other day, he got 21 DraftKings points, 5 for 7. So he has that type of upside. I'm on the fence with him. He's going to be a lower-owned play. A lot of these other guys are going to be gone a lot sooner. People won't really be getting to Rondo all that much, but he's more than viable. In this matchup, definitely could get it done, so in play for me. So all these other guys, you guys can read the notes. I'm not going to waste your time or people that are not interested, but thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys like this video, please hit the like button, and if you haven't, please subscribe to help the channel grow and keep this stuff free for all of you guys. And look for my late video. I'll be posting that in a couple of hours. Best of luck today. Hopefully you guys do well in football if you guys play football. I'm going to be playing a couple of lineups today, but not much. There's just so much NBA action tonight. So, best of luck to you guys. If you have any questions, message me on Twitter. I'll be more than happy to answer them. But with that, take care. Bye-bye.